Okay, there's the what the first side's going to look like, or one of the sides. And now I just like do the whole thing, and same thing on the other side. So that's pretty much all there is to it. Just a little quality time with probably a guitar builder's favorite tool. Best friend here, for sure. If you build guitars, this is a best friend. Just too bad they don't make a curved one. And there's a notch on the second side. So yeah, that right there is the trapezoid profile right there. And I just need to continue it along the neck and then blend it into the round part at this end. Well, slowly but surely it's getting there. So yeah, slowly but surely.
You gotta tease him.
And that's one side done.
Fish sees that
Took,
lower like a nice.
Oh, I don't know, half an hour, something like that.
He's got no idea it's you.
Now I just need to do the other side.
Then you get him.
And there it is, all done. I don't think it even took me 2 hours. .40mm heel, tapered out to match the width of the fingerboard. 90mm long, 10mm spine, all the way to the 0 fret, and then it blends into the curve for the nut, and it's just 3 facets, 1, 2, 3, and then it'll blend into the triangular heel, and that's all there is to it. So yeah, this is hit it with the sander, and then it's ready for the paint shop. Okay, time to buzz this thing down with the 60 grit sander. Want to watch me sand? I'll be back. Before I sand them all the way off, I think I'd better punch my neck hole marks so I don't lose them. Okay, got those marked out. Now I can finish sanding. There it is, all sanded to 60. Being not too soft a wood, that makes it actually pretty smooth. Smooth enough that it can be finished and clear coated. Might want it a little smoother for an oil finish. I haven't really figured out what I'm going to do on this thing. It seems to have some kind of nice graining in it. Not very noticeable though. I was thinking maybe hit it with brown and sand it back in order to try to pop the grain some maybe, and then just clear coat it. But yeah, all sanded. It's in grain. I'm never going to get all that dye out, so. But yeah, it's all sanded. Even did the sides of the fretboards and rolled them a little bit, and caught the ends of the frets there as well, so they're all rolled and smooth and stuff too. Kill a lot of birds with one stone that way. So all nice and shaped and blended here and blended here and ready to go, ready to go. So yeah, since I don't know what I'm going to stain it, I guess I'll go ahead and start working on the body and figure out what I'm going to do with this. Actually, I'm liking that idea of hitting it with some brown and sanding it back. Let me dig some stuff up. There you go. Made a little sawdust. Have you made any sawdust yet today? Okay, got some brown Kitawood dye here. It was already mixed up. See what happens. Yeah, see what I mean about the grain? Try to get it on evenly here. Wonder how dark I should go. That goes behind the nut. And I think that's everything. Probably dark enough for a start. There's the Bubinga by comparison, so yeah, probably plenty dark enough. Alright. Set that aside, let it dry. Okay. Time to figure out the dimensions of the body. It's going to have a triangular heel, and it's going to be 90 and 40 wide. And so the end of the neck would be like right here. And then we'll have some distance down to the beginning of the bridge. And the bridge cutout's going to look more or less like that. And then the bridge itself, the mounting bracket, looks something like this. As I recall. And we'll have to figure out this distance here. And the width of the bridge. Yeah, the rest of the bridge looks like that, sort of goes on top of it. And so yeah, and then basically it'll just be a piece of wood going from here to here, and then on this side we want to extend it. It only needs to come this far on this side, but on this side we want to extend it back so that we have room to mount the EQ. So yeah, we'll have the EQ. Let me look at one of the other ones to make sure. Don't want to mess this up. So here's the X13 here. And yeah, so here's the bridge, and basically the stuff on this side of the bridge This one has an extra bar glued on, but you just extend this piece of wood back to here so that you have a place to mount these guys, and the switch mounts there as well. And that's pretty much all there is to it. So that means that this side of the body is going to come down some distance, like that. And this end will only be that long, more or less. That's the basic idea. Now all we need to know is what this distance is here, what this distance is here, and that distance there, and that distance there, and we're done. So the first thing we need to know is distance from the nut to the end of the heel. And the end of the heel is pretty much at the 24th. So all we need is the distance from the nut to the heel, which you can't quite see there, almost. There we go. So, let me get a ruler. Okay. Meter stick says 485. So, 485 millimeters from the nut to the end of the neck, which is also the 24th fret. So that's 485 of our 648 or whatever it is for a fender, and so that's whatever is left is how far we go from here down to the saddles. Now the next question is exactly where the saddles fall in relation to this bracket. Okay, subtracting the length of the neck from the scale length, I get 163 millimeters from the end of the heel to wherever the saddle line is. And now we got to figure out where the saddles are in relation to this bracket. Okay, got the trans trim, and it actually has a different mounting bracket and design thing going on than a Steinberger R trim does. So it's gonna, this end is going to be the same, the notch won't be as deep, but this drawing of the bracket is not right, so let me get another piece of paper. Alright, let's try this again now that we got the parts in front of us. Okay, so we're still going to have a, that's going to be interesting. Guess we're going to go in between it. Maybe drill out a hole just for that. So we're still going to have a bottom that comes down kind of like this, with a bar out here for the EQ. And this little puppy will sit right in there, kind of a thing. And yeah, it looks like we'll be drilling some sort of hole right there for this thing. And if you got to do that, you might want to just want it in the body here and then have this bar out here instead, kind of like it is on the X13. Well, something to think about. Anyway, for this part, what do we got? We got a hole here, and a hole here, and a hole like here, and a hole like here, and then we got the end of the bracket. And these rollers are almost at the end of the saddle. Yeah, the actual, now, we want the center of the axle of the wheel. Let's call it 2 mil. So the saddle all the way up, the saddle line, which is at the center of the wheel, not the front, is 2 mil back from the front edge of the saddle. And if you put the saddle all the way up the front edge of the bracket, that means your saddle line is going to be 2 millimeters behind the bracket. So if this is the line for the bracket, then your saddle line is going to be, if that's all the way up, it's going to be just about where this hole is. And this distance right here is 2 millimeters. So, and we already know that we want to go 163 millimeters from the end of the neck down to wherever the saddle line is, which is more or less right here, kind of an idea. And so, if that's 163, then that's 161. Up to the neck. Let me get another piece of paper. So, combining all these drawings, we got our neck at 40 by 90. And then we got our bracket, which looks more or less like this. And the distance from here to here is 161. And then let's see, this bracket, I mean, this thing's got that to deal with, so we probably should put a bar out there. How wide is this? This bridge is like 84 wide. And call it 85. That's 40 there. So yeah, and then just like connect the dots. And that's more or less what your body's going to look like. Now out here, so let's see, we're here, we got a notch, we got holes. Our tuners would come out somewhere about here. Let's see, from the front of the bracket, how long is this thing? It's about 80 mil long. So if we've got like tuners and such here, draw it a little better. And this is like 80. And then we leave a little finger room, and then have the EQ here. So let's say you leave 30 mil clearance, and then you have the length of the EQ, whatever the length of the EQ is. And the EQ is 90. So we got something coming back here, kind of a thing. And right, so this distance is 80. And then we want 30 for clearance on these guys before we come back to the EQ, which is going to be another 90. And then you got the end of this thing. And the EQ would sit kind of like that. And that still gives you room to get your fingers in there. So, that's what you end up with for a body plan. based on the components. Basically, the heel size is a constant, and so it's just the length of the neck itself that determines this number, which is the distance to your basically to your saddle line. It's the actual distance from the front edge of the bridge to the saddle line is going to vary on based on the bridge design itself. In our case, it's 2 millimeters. But yeah, basically that's what's going on. And then at this end, it's as wide as the bridge, or wider if we need an extra bar over here. So if we're going to do an extra bar, we'd probably want at least a 20 mil wide bar. So let's say this thing is 20 wide. Camera picking any of this up. And over here, these guys, how wide are they? That's like, 26, 27, 26. These are looking to be about 28. If that actually adds up, 20, 40, 60, that doesn't add up. Did I mismeasure this? That's like 83. I said it was 85. 20, 40, 60. Oh, wait. 76, 82. Yeah, that's pretty close. That's 26, yeah. Okay. Might have to sand to fit, kind of a thing. File to fit. What they call bolt-on in the aftermarket of hot rodding parts. But yeah, I guess that's really going to be it, more or less. So that means we're going to need a blank that's 105 wide, which we might not have. Nope, got 102. Damn. Okay, so we're gonna have to glue that bit on, I guess. Now this part here, how long is this part? See, we have them come down to the hinge. End it at the hinge, that's like 36, 37. Call it 36. So to here, there to there, that's 36 mil. If we basically just kind of have the board go right to there, I'm in an idea. Because this whole, everything from here back pivots up and down. So there really shouldn't be any wood under here. I mean, you could put some wood under it, but you would need to notch the wood for relief, because you can see how far back this portion of the bridge will swing. It'll swing all the way down to here. So, yeah, if you had a piece of flat wood going all the way back like this, and there's probably not enough light, but, well, you can see up camera, up, up. Here, you can see just a little bit of taper would be required. That, right now, that little bit right there. Need another hand. Okay, So yeah, the wood will probably come back to the hinge, and that would be it. And that still leaves you enough beef for the screw. And so yeah, you're only looking at 36 mil going back here. Yeah, 36 at most. So 36 and 161 and 90. And that's how long the body blank would be. And then we would need this bar. And then we also need a swing bar, which is typically somewhere between 18 and 22 inches long. I lost the cap to the green Sharpie. I'll be right back. Okay, those are laid out in their actual positions. I think it's going to be big enough. You make the body over here on this side, and then this here is your bar, and it clears that, and there's room for that. Everything's the proper distance here already. And the neck would go at 161 up from that. Right about there. And then the heel would go out to here, which is the 17th fret. Would be the very, very, very pointy end of the heel. And it wouldn't reach full thickness until about the 19th fret. And the screws would go at about the 23rd and right underneath that dot marker there, which is 12, 15, 17, 19 again. Is that right? Let's see, be at 10 and 60. Yeah, this one. 15, 17. Yeah, 19th dot marker. And the other screw would go underneath the 23rd fret, roughly. So that's more or less what it would look like. And so yeah, this would be a triangular heel, and then just tapered from there to there, and then that bit there, and all the bingo. And then that leaves let's say you bring this line all the way to here for that bar, then that doesn't leave you much material in the way of cutoff. You've got like this rectangle here, this little rectangle here, and this little rectangle back here, and that's about it. So none of those is really going to be big enough to make a swing bar out of. You could make, what could you make? You could make the thumb screw for the swing bar out of it. You could make the stands for a depth pick guard out of it. And that would be about it, unless you wanted to get into like planing or cutting this stuff up in order to make little, shims for the pickup or something silly like that. I mean, who cares if the shims are made out of a Benga? as long as it's a solid wood or something. But anyway, yeah, so that's what it's looking like. It looks like you can just barely squeeze one body into the width of this body blank. And there's not a whole lot of cutoff left over. But, I mean, these pieces of wood will be useful for doing other things. These will make nice bridges for the tail tuners that use the roller fender saddles on that kind of a bridge. They use a wood block bridge that floats, and then they just have the roller saddle sitting on top. Works great, and it's even more adjustable than a roller TOM. So, in fact, I was thinking of using that on the fretless, but I figured if it's going to be fretless and stuff, I'll try to keep it straightforward otherwise. So, I think I'm going to go with a Fender hardtail type bridge on that. But anyway, yeah, so looks like I can squeeze it all in. I guess the next step's going to be to mark it out.